Welcome to ZBTR TV.
The goal is to unearth and document the Zambian narrative in the best way possible.
Catch us live every Saturday on Facebook and YouTube.
We broadcast every Saturday at 10 a.m. EST, 7 a.m. PT.
With a growing audience across the globe, we connect Zambians and share resources abroad.
Be part of our journey. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
With a growing audience across the globe, we connect Zambians and share resources abroad.
The ZBTR TV show.
Did you know? Less than 10% of our viewers are subscribed. Don't miss out. Be part of the community. Mark your calendars. Every Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Flow live.
Welcome to the show. Hello. Welcome to ZBTR TV. Believe it or not, it is the last day of January. Yes, 31st January 2026. And we do appreciate you joining us from wherever you're watching. Please let your friends know that ZBTR is live. You can follow us on Facebook, on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, and we are also on X, which you normally used to be called Twitter. Now, today is a sobering discussion. These are some of the things that we, as you can see, it's a diaspora feature. Even if it is mainly directed to diaspora residents, Zambians, Africans, it also applies to you in Zambia or in Africa, wherever you're watching from. What happens after I am gone? I'm using the word that I'm gone to avoid the dreaded word dead or die, okay? African people, we do not want to talk about that. It's like, even in some theological circles, they will tell you you are bringing a curse on yourself. You don't speak about death and things like that. But the bottom line is, like my guest and I were discussing during the week, at the end of the day, we are all at one point going to go. All right. So what is this discussion about? This is about you and I preparing for after we are gone. And what does it entail? Because there are a lot of things that happens when death hits a family. You've got things to do with children, you've got things to do with your property, or what is technically known as your estate. Those are the things that we need to look at and think about. Do not shy away from this. Very important. Please tag your friends, let them know it's time to sit down and have a serious, sober conversation. All right. My guest this morning is Mr. Chisanga Puta. He's a financial professional. I always say this, Puta. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Such a pleasure, such an honor. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you're watching from.
It's good to have you here. I always say, I always love it when I have somebody within my neighborhood.
I tell I'm local.
I'm local. Because most of the times we are talking to people, if not across the continent. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely true.
That's what happens. How are you doing?
I am well. It is a wonderful morning. We've survived. You can relate to the winter storm. We have survived the winter storm, so we're still here. The sun is out, but it's still cold. So, but we thank God.
Like my friend from another state. I won't mention the name in case I get in trouble. I said, "You guys get some snow dust," and
it's all relative, huh?
It's all relative. Yeah, it's all relative. Chisanga, we're talking about planning for your estate now.
Correct.
A lot of people were saying to me, now, what is this? You know, our theme, the one scrolling under the screen. In America, it takes a court. In Zambia, it takes a village. They were like, what are you talking about? So the first thing I want you to do is demystify our theme for this conversation, okay? The village myth, And you often say that in America, the village has been replaced by the court. What
Correct.
are you exactly saying?
No, it's absolutely true, Pastor Nathan. In most cases, it's at home or back home. Usually, when somebody passes, especially when children are involved, what normally happens, is
Yes.
the family will come together and quickly decide what the life will look like going forward. But over here, what tends to happen, if let's say it's a single parent or if both parents happen to pass away at the same time, the person that decides, it's not, oh, Banti, that's coming from Zambia, or your brother in Plano. It's going to be the judge. And the judge doesn't understand our culture. They don't understand our traditions, and they don't understand our family dynamics, which are very, very different to what happens here in the United States. So effectively, the judge is making a decision on what happens to your children if you haven't left something in writing.
So now you touched on another thing that I like, that it's just so when you say you haven't left anything in writing, what is that thing that you haven't left in writing?
Correct, because I'm going to speak specifically Texas, but I'm sure this applies to all other states and in the United States. We have designates. You as a parent, you are right. You have a right to designate who takes care of your children, designate of guardianship. However, if that is absent, which simply means that you've given that right to the state and effectively the judge. So if you don't, you have the right to make that decision, but if you don't make that decision in writing, you've effectively, whether you like it or not, you've told it, oh, I'll let somebody else make that decision for me. And that person is not your family member. They don't know you.
And generally, like you have said, that the point you're trying to make may specifically apply to Texas law.
Correct.
Generally, these rules in what I may term Western culture, Western countries, aren't they just generally the same? We're talking about Europe, Australia, and all these places. In generality.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Because you tend to find that our friends, our brothers, these countries that we call home, they have systems. It's a constitutional system. We have a traditional system which has served us very well, but it does not apply in these in these countries. So we have to be mindful of that, and we have to respect. Work within those boundaries.
Serious. Okay, let's continue. That's one of the things that I had put out there in the social media platforms. I talked about estate planning. Okay,
correct.
These are technical terminologies, and when you see the way the estate, some people may put real estate in front of it and think that's what. So explain the significance of estate planning and tell us exactly what it is. What is estate planning?
Estate planning is exactly like you said, Pastor Nathan. When you hear estate, you start thinking of Bill Gates, Bezos. You think these it's only for people, very wealthy, or people who have a lot of money.
Yes.
But if you really break it down, estate thing, it's actually just three basic principles. All you're doing is you're directing who gets your property, who has the right to your property.
Okay.
You're directing at what time they get that property, and you're also directing what that property is. So it's just three things. So
wow.
If you think about it, we all have an estate. We all, as long as you've got some sort of property, as long as you know somebody who should get that property, and as long as you know when they should get that property, that's your estate planning. It's as simple as that. There's no need to complicate it.
So how does that work? How do I go about leaving those instructions of the 3 steps you have outlined?
Okay. One of the reasons I've actually come on here is the organization that I've partnered with or that I work with has something called a life plan. And life plan simply is, we'll dig deeper into this, but it's just high level. It is almost like a digital vault. So it allows you to make an estate plan, which estate plan is a number of documents, but one of the documents is a will, and it allows you to just list your items. As you know, as living abroad and everywhere, as we grow up, Nandif, because this applies everywhere. As we grow up, we amass a lot of things, and sometimes you may keep a list, but in most times these things are just in your head. You know where things are. You know where things are. And but
not everybody does.
No, they don't. And we live dual lives as well. So some things, you have stuff here, stuff goes on. But if you have everything in one place in a digital vault, it allows you to itemize those things, and it just makes it easier. I always say you're doing a service. You're being kind. To those who have to come and clean up or clean up your affairs after you've left.
Wow. So I literally have to itemize. Like how? How do I do that? Because that basically also brings us to our next question, Puta. Many of us think this is to engage people, professionals to do this. It costs thousands of dollars. Is that true? How does it work?
Initially, that's what a lot of people think, but I'm glad that we have an opportunity to just let people know that no, it does not cost thousands of dollars. In fact, not doing it costs thousands of dollars. Yeah, this product, I mean, this platform that that we're going to share here, it allows you to go in at zero cost, especially if you're in the United States. It's at zero cost. You're able to go in. The only cost that you're going to have is you're going to have Uxta notarize. So it will give you an opportunity to list your items, let the state know who you want your items to go to and when you want those items to be distributed. You download that that document, get it notarized, and then upload it back into the platform. So that way, it has it carries weight. It becomes a legal a document that can be presented in front of the courts.
Really? Because I had a situation, I won't mention names here because I didn't get permission from the people involved. A friend died, and the family in Zambia said, can you please sell his things and send them to us, send the money to us? What's wrong with that picture? And why? I won't say.
No.
I would like you to explain why that is not possible.
The first thing that comes to mind is one, about the people in Zambia, we don't know what standing or what right they have to give you directions to go and sell.
Yeah.
The second, that has a follow-on effect. It's because you become, if somebody was to turn around and say, Pastor Nathan, you sold something, even though you were given instructions, you sold something that did not belong to you or you had no right to sell. You open yourself up to almost like legal jeopardy. Even though you're following instructions from back home, yes, we ate what's under tradition. Traditionally, they send me. But when the court looks at it, it's effectively a crime because you do not have the rights.
I can be prosecuted?
You can be prosecuted. Very similar to stealing or selling somebody else's property without the legal rights. The family may agree, but legally, the family does not have standing. They don't, because you haven't given them that right. It's a scary thought. It's for us, because when we're thinking because I always said, if talk about, when we're abroad, we think with two minds. We've got our Zambian brain thinking, and then we have our, not American brain, but the brain that has to navigate the American system. And sometimes the two are not aligned. So you have to be very, very careful which brain you're engaging at what particular time.
Oh, I like that. Which brain you're engaging at what particular time, right?
Absolutely true.
So this does not cost thousands of dollars as the myth goes out there. Oh, things like that.
No, no, not at all. I mean, if you go through a lawyer, yes, if you have a large estate, but what you're really doing is, for most of our cases, most people have a simple plan. I mean, we're not talking shares in corporations or tema crypto. We're not talking. It's very simple. I mean, if you're blessed enough, my it's the car, it's the stuff that you have in storage, it's that 401k account, Markwata, car life insurance plan that you have somewhere, and generally accounts. Sometimes you won't realize, like I was saying, you don't realize how many, even the bank accounts. To you, it's second nature because you had that account, Kunani, and you think even you will forget sometimes. But when you sit down, yes, quite another account that you have just lying around. But it's just a way of itemizing things and then putting things into place. It's hard for you, but I always say it's a gift. When we lose somebody, it's a difficult time, but it's so refreshing to have things in place.
It's very, very important because the situation is that the real issues out there is that, like you've said, account.
Yes.
So when you go to the bank, as we think in Ganachitafe present death certificate, that's it. That's a procedure. It doesn't work like that, right?
No, it doesn't. Again, they have processes that they follow. So usually you think, because I've gone with the bank. No, it doesn't work like that. There's a designator, somebody who's been appointed to follow up. If that, again, usually, let's say some accounts, you have all these things that you have to, that we skip sometimes.
Yeah.
And in that fine print, we're supposed to designate something. And it's usually blank. I'd encourage everybody here to just go and take a look. If they've designated anybody, usually it's blank. And we assume that, if I pass, they'll just come to the certificate. Or you actually think the bank will come looking for you, which is not the case. Again, focusing back on Texas, there's a 3-year law, which simply means that the bank will attempt to look for you. But again, putting things into context, what they'll do is they'll send you an email. No, but you've passed away. Nobody's replying to that email.
And nobody has got access to your email.
Yeah, exactly.
Your email.
Absolutely true. Then they'll send you a letter. Most people rent. By the time you've passed, nobody, Iriana in the apartment, there's no forwarding address, there's no nothing. That letter ends up in, it just gets bounced back. The bank has 3 years to hold on to your money. They find out that they can't find you. And it goes to the comptroller, Texas. And then, then you have to start claiming. But the problem is, especially where we are, if you didn't know the money existed in the first place, how are you going to claim it? So we've come to America to work, but all of a sudden you find yourself donating to the great state of Texas. And you have contributed to the new roads in Austin.
Okay. Quite natural.
No, it can be very sad, but it doesn't have to be.
Oh wow. Yeah, and normally that's what happens. Everybody watching, that's the purpose, Mr. Puta and I are having this conversation, and let's forget a little bit about what's going on in what you call it, Uka and everybody, and just face life seriously here. And the opposition is dismantling in whatever. Let's just face these situations. if a Zambian parent, Puta, passes away here
Yes. Okay.
in America without a will,
Mhm.
does the US government really take over the children?
Without a will, unfortunately, the answer is yes.
We're talking
And
about
quite a lot of
minors, right?
scenarios. Okay.
Yeah.
Minus, correct. Below and minor. Again, this will vary, but I keep on coming back to the state of Texas, and I apologize, guys, but it's this is where we are, and this is what I know. In the state of Texas, as minors considered below the age of 12. After 12, the judge will give the child the opportunity to choose. And they'll listen to that, But but below the age of 12, the judge will decide. And that problem, exactly like you said, Pastor, if, let's say, very unfortunate, if both parents die, it'll have to designate somebody. What will happen immediately? Because what we think is, the police will come, or depending on how the parents passed away, either the police would just hand over the children to either, it's usually family, right? Usually if somebody passes, somebody will fly over from Zambia and they'll come over. But what we need to realize is that most of these they are American citizens.
Yes.
And Zambian. This is when you really, when our children are saying the Pledge of Allegiance in school every morning, it's in times like this when you realize that it's us and them. Because when you come as a Zambian, you are just that, a Zambian. And they will not allow a foreign national to take one of their own. They may be our children.
So to them, it's not. There's nothing like Niva Nakulu, Niva Anti, Niva Yama. You are a foreigner.
No. You are a Zambian. Imagine a Zambian trying to take a U.S. citizen. It doesn't work like that. And what you'll find is in that process, usually the judge won't release the children, especially my minors we're talking about. They won't release them to a foreign national. So you have to go into, they'll go into either foster care, which takes time. So they release the CPS, they go into foster care. Then you start the issue Yama courts. And remember, it takes time, it takes money. So by the time that estate planning is expensive, you are paying on the back end. Even though you left money, that money is going to fight the court, the money, even the time, because time is money as well.
Of course.
Time is money as well. And for something that could have been avoided by just filling out that form.
There is to that aspect, we are saying if both parents die. Now let's look at a scenario, unfortunately, of a single parent who leaves a minor.
Again,
can't Auntie Elizabeth just take over and start looking after that child?
If
Auntie Sanjay can take over and start looking after that child, how does it work?
It would work. It would be perfectly fine if we have, again, we live in a country where everything has to follow a system, and the judge, because the minute that you have not designated a person, it just means that because we think sometimes if I don't do it, Nishi, it doesn't matter. But by not doing it, you're actually doing something. In your action of not doing, you're saying, my rights, I am ceding to the state, and the state is effectively a man or a woman in a black robe who we refer to as a judge. And the decisions that they make, trust me, are not the decisions that you would make.
Wow.
So it's the exact same situation. Vance Nabanko can't just step in. Or we met, they can't just step in. It has to follow a process. And unfortunately, the judge will never know our situation. They'll never know I'm a family dynamics, yes. Even our traditions, they can't understand. And it's effectively, with time, things will resolve themselves. But remember, Nishnam Shavana through the foster care system. Because when
Yeah.
they go to foster care, there are people waiting there. And usually it's not people who look like you and me. Them are Zambians but who take in our foster kids. But there's a system already in place. That the night of, the children need to find a place. So once they go in, and you can't just go and pick them up after a while. It's going to be a process. A judge has to decide. So all of these things can be avoided.
Just by writing a will and doing what needs to be done.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Just stating what your wishes are. It's just your wishes. That's all you're doing. You're stating your wishes.
I'll still go back to that situation. I gave you an example about a friend dying and the family members in Zambia saying, "Can you please sell the stuff and send the money to her?" They thought I just didn't want to do it. Even if I didn't have the knowledge that you're explaining, I just had scanty little knowledge about me not being authorized to do it. I'm just avoiding the whole thing. I just said no. And then the issue was some of the stuff was in storage.
Absolutely true.
So, Mamona.
And then the access, never storage. How do you gain access?
Yeah. My friend would say,
That's
when you go to the bank, they will say, "And who might you be?" If there is none,
it's not Pakurine Papa. We used to we were friends. Now they don't know any of that.
Okay, that's a very important thing. All right. Before we get into the how you can do this, Mr. Puta is going to give us some information how we can go around this. A very President Siddiq says he's watching. Thank you, sir. Please send the link to this to everybody. That's why we shared it in all our community platforms so that people are able to do this. My vice president here, Brenda, says, "Oh, this is your family." Now I'm revealing state secrets. Good morning, ZPTR. Excited to follow this important. Yeah, Shirin Uncle Chisanga, thank you for your time. Yes, indeed. Thank you for your time and the information being shared.
We appreciate it. Thank you for watching.
Auntie Elizabeth in Pennsylvania says, "Important topic. Thanks for this discussion. We have all lost loved ones, and for sure we shall also die." Yeah, it's very, very important. Absolutely. My sister Sandra, also in my backyard, says this is a great topic. Thanks for sharing. And great topic from SNEED 86. Okay, we transitioning here, everybody, and it's the reason I thought and I agreed when I was reached out to for us to highlight this is we're going to talk about what do you call it, a digital vote, but all the things that we've talked about so far, in case Mr. Puta is reachable, okay, that's the number. He's not one of those people. Just send him a text that it's about this, okay?
Yeah.
And he'll be. Don't just call because you are not in his contact, so he won't know who's calling. Okay, everybody, those who are watching live, those who are going to watch the recorded things, send a text and let him know what the subject matter is. Then he's going to call you back. That's the number, okay?
Yeah.
Vaputa, tell us about this digital vote or life plan. How does it help somebody whose family is back in Zambia?
Yeah. Life plan is simply, it's very, you know, we're in a digital age where everything is online. Usually, when you think about, we gave examples of the way we organize our lives. You know, usually most of the information that we have, if it's financial, it's our wishes. It's usually either mut paper it's in a shoebox, and we were joking earlier on, and we're joking, but it's the truth. Most of it is just in our heads. We know what
Yeah.
we know, and I always say we're fortunate, we're blessed. We kind of live two lives, right? So like what a life here, Zambia, what a life here, especially about Kun.
Yes.
And we have family in Zambia and we have family over here. And sometimes the two don't exactly align. About Zambia, they kind of have an idea. It's not a perfect idea. Now they have an idea. And sometimes you only see the disconnect because you remember you are the glue. You are the glue. There's a disconnect. And just going back to your life plan. Life plan is it's a digital platform that allows you to list your assets. It allows you to even I'm a medical mandate, because remember, we're not just talking about death. Even in a coma, because usually when you're in a coma, there's certain decisions that you can't make, and only certain people can make those decisions on your behalf.
Yeah.
But you can also make certain decisions, so those things can be listed.
Wow.
What life
in this life plan?
In life plan, yes. There's another document for even your medical, your medical directions of what you want to happen when you have these things. I always say it's so hard. You really begin to either appreciate, or the American system opens your eyes up only when you are in a fix. Only when you've gone to a hospital, because there are times or you're with somebody and you go to, they'll refuse you access for certain things. Even sometimes, even our children. The minute she turns 18, in doctor's office, you're about to enter that door, the doctor will look at you and say, how can we help you? But she didn't one because she's 18. There's certain things
just because she's 18,
the doctor knows you've been going to the same office. Yeah, you've been going to the same office for years. The minute she turns 18, they'll look at you and ask your child if she's comfortable with you coming into the office with them. And it happens the same way. In a hospital, there's certain decisions. A loved one may be in a coma. They may not be able to make their own decisions. But if you haven't given them access, or you haven't said who they are or what decisions they can make, you will not have that right.
Serious. Those are serious things.
Absolutely.
And you see, like you have said, we do not think we have these two, I don't know what word to use, minds or brains about here and across the Atlantic Ocean, right?
Yes.
So in it, all this is what it's in my head. It's in my head. So again, how do we get access to this digital vault, Maput?
Okay. So what would happen is, usually if you that same number, the 903-505-0525, just send me a text message. It's on WhatsApp as well. And just say something like plan, because I'll know it's from this show. And then I will email you a link. So that link allows you to create a platform. There's an option. Once you create your platform, you're able to create a will at no cost. You're able to fill out your medical proxies. You're able to upload any other financial documents. All of these, it's a vault. So even the company that I'm with does not have access to it. But the wonderful thing about this platform is it allows you to grant digital access to a trusted member. So it could be somebody here, it could be somebody in Zambia. So if anything happens we are not running around looking for those documents or guessing if certain things exist, or we're not accusing people of hiding things, or because it's all written out. So about Zambia, they can have access. About they can have access.
Oh wow!
And so it's a trust of people.
So and this is good. You know why? Because it eliminates that misconception from family in Zambia to say,
absolutely true. Absolutely true. And I always said when it's in those difficult times that passing, because my emotions that already heightened, families are they're complicated organizations, right? And that's when the emotions come out. What you're doing, you're actually doing everybody a favor. You're dampening my emotions, because you're not giving people a reason. You're not giving people a reason for any animosity.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Okay. Okay. Raput. You're having okay, everybody. So here, as Vaputa is coming back. So listen, those of you watching, those of you gonna watch this live, just text plan to that number. For those of you outside the US, let me edit this. You can add what you call it. You can add 0 to a 1 to that number. Okay, here he comes back.
I am back. I apologize about that.
That's okay. I'm trying to. I just remember that there could be people watching from outside the US. Let's add the 1 there. Okay. So those of you watching, it doesn't matter from which part of the world. This is a diaspora focused feature. If you're watching from outside the US, remember to put a 1 in front of that number before you, because you don't say it's not working. I apologize for that, but we've corrected it. So it's 10935050525. Just text the word plan so that he knows that you're not looking for contributions to come to your campaign.
Hi, Kawa.
Oh, not no. There are my presidential candidates then. Tamusanje, we should go also and stand as presidential candidates. So on a serious note, everybody's just text plan to that number. Even everybody, Australia, US, UK, South Africa won't say. This is important. Let's do this. I always remember that incident when the family to that friend told me, so I said, where am I even going to start from? I don't even know what this guy had or whatever. So it's that type of thinking. It's that type of thinking. So I can, if I text Mr. Puta this message plan, and then Mr. Puta will send me a digital vote.
I'll send you a link. It's going to be a link. I send you a link, and then you create a profile, and it's 100% private. I won't have access to it. The company that I worked with won't have access to it. It's just something that you see. It's something that you control.
So how do what's the next step? When I do that, how do my family, what am I supposed to do for my family to know about this?
So your family, you are going to, if you have somebody that's trusted, or you have somebody that you want to have access to that plan when you pass, you send them login credentials as well. So you can monitor it, and you can grant, and you can also, things do change. Yeah, so you can give somebody access, and if situations do change, you can actually remove that access as well.
Okay. Mm. Now here, this is where the African in us comes in.
There
Babu.
you go. Pastor, why do I know where you're going with this?
You know, because you are the professional on this and you know what you've been dealing with, And of course,
Yeah.
like you say, Pastor, because you deal with people, I deal with people.
Yes.
So, Mpele Vayama, access to this
Yeah.
digital vote, veshi vefyona akwata, ubuloshi bwarangira, Chanda, help me out here. And on this part of the world, you know what we're going to say? I ain't showing nobody my stuff.
Yeah. No, absolutely true.
So, how do we deal with that? Let's just be real African here. How do we deal with that? Huh?
Absolutely true. And I'm really trying to figure out what to say. And if you think about it, this is where we have to be very, very mindful. We have to be mindful of what we do while we're still alive. We have to cultivate certain relationships. We have to find those people that we can trust.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't just go through this world.
How do we do that? And that is probably going to be, that was supposed to be our last question, and that's what Mr. Sneed is also saying. Zambians need more sensitization on this matter. How do we move forward based on comment Yava Sneed?
I think we start with the end in mind, right?
Okay.
Because everybody, let's start with the end in mind, because we all know, because even when we started with a confusion that is created.
Yes.
And we have to try and say, at Idianakan, it's we refuse certain outcomes for ourselves and for our family. And it's not for everybody. But I'm sure there's one or two people that we can identify who bring sanity. Either way, whichever way you look at it, a resolution will be made.
Yes.
Yeah, a resolution will be. But what we're trying to do is just be intentional with how we want it's really our legacy and what we're leaving for those who follow us. So it's a hard discussion. It sounds easy. Yes, it's a digital platform. It sounds very easy, but if you layer on, if you layer on the traditional aspect, you layer on the cultural aspects, even it becomes a little complicated. But we have to. We have to sensitize. I'm doing this because I don't want that to happen to our family. I'm doing this because I don't want our family to break up after I've gone. I don't want, because it's effective, yet it's because of me. Bantu now for all of a sudden, this side of the family and that side of the family stop speaking. Yeah, so let's try and avoid that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, to your point, and that's exactly what Brenda is also, but there got to be someone we trust. Yeah, there has to be somebody that you trust and in the family. You see, this, and I've had these conversations with some close friends. It's I'll tell you this, it's very impressive what my elder sister did.
Okay.
It will be 2 years next month when she died. It's very impressive what she did. Yeah, it's she was one person who was always focused, planning, and looking at it, like you are saying, looking at the end of things. You see, it's I don't know why we are afraid. Brenda says access can be given to someone other than a family member. We can find a trusted friend.
That's correct.
It's important to do that. So at the end of the day, Baputa, what is the thing our listeners should do after watching this discussion?
At the very least, because we've discussed Yama wills and granting access, and sometimes we may be hesitant to almost like revealing, especially the financial aspect.
Yes.
You don't have to include all of that. If you're hesitant, maybe it will take some time. It's a traditional thing. We may have to build up to that. But at the very least, if we've got children, minor children, let's at least put that designate in place. Even if it's just the one thing that you do, let's do that. Yeah. Let's decide who will take care of our children, as opposed to saying, okay, I'm happy for CPS to decide for me. I'm happy for the judge to decide what happens to my children. Let's not put the children in that foster care system.
Yeah, it's true.
That's one takeaway. I mean, but there's other things, but that's the least we can do.
I think that's very crucial. You just hit it on the head. So everybody was asking me. So that's what we are trying to say. In America, it takes a court. In Zambia, it takes a village. That's what that theme is about. So what our brother Puta is trying to help us with here is that avoid the state or the government, depending on which part of the world you're watching this from, to take over running your estate after you are gone. What happens after I am gone? So everybody, text plan, just the word plan to that number there, even if you're outside of the United States. Can people outside the US also have access to this plan?
It does. Yes, you can have access to it. Like I said, it's free. So it's a platform.
Yeah.
You use it just for organization. That's what I would say. I mean, it may not
putting your stuff together.
Because remember, even when a lot of things are happening after you pass. If you have fire. Yes, that legal aspect where you can't go and present it in front of a judge, but people still have access. So yes, I would encourage you, even if you're not in the United States, use it just as a resource to put your things together and allow other people to access it. Maybe the will won't be in effect in your jurisdiction, but at least there's a single place where everybody can access your information.
Okay. Here's an interesting comment here. From Laura Harrison in the UK.
Council, I receive it.
There's Council Puta. You may wish to look at how Office of the Public Guardian under Ministry of Justice deals with similar issues related to medical care, death, property, finances. Yeah, Ministry of Justice. Your comment on that? She adds on. She says, especially on issues of access. I think she's talking about the digital vote. You want me to put that back again? Let me put this up again.
Are you able to put the question back up one more time?
Yeah, there it is.
And the Ministry of Justice deals with similar issues related to medical care. Well, Laura, I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question.
Is this
correctly?
One of the, remember, you sent me 3 themes on which we could have taken this subject.
Yes. Okay.
We took this one because it seems to be like the most prevalent one. One of the other ones was on the, let me see, look at this. Where it brings in the issues of HIPAA, privacy.
Correct.
Issues. I think that's what, if I'm trying to, and yeah, probably that's what Laura is talking about here. I think she's talking, in American system, you're talking about HIPAA.
Okay.
Let's address it from that angle. How does that work?
On the HIPAA, again, you have to have signed off or given authority for certain people to access your documents. And that's another, because once you log into the vault, you will find, I think there's about 4 different documents, and all of these. So if you go even in the medical setting, they'll ask you for a specific form, and if you have that form filled out, that can be presented. All of these forms will be completed by you, notarized. So it actually is a legal document.
Excellent.
I hope we answered that question, Laura. But if we didn't, please just rephrase it or just send it back in.
Yeah, everybody, again, for further, if you need further understanding, information about this and all that, text plan to 190-505-0525. The other comment I like here is what Brenda says here before. Those with grown children, they can entrust their children. Yeah, I think that's important.
It's it definitely is. It definitely is.
Those with grown children, like, I mean, For me, Natasha and Luito will decide whatever happens. My
Absolutely
kids,
true.
they are grown children. They will decide.
Absolutely true. And
Mm.
it's an ongoing discussion. I think we need to. I think Pariava, one of the comments earlier on just said we need to sensitize. It's really a discussion, right? We don't
Yes.
wait until it has to be an ongoing discussion.
Yeah.
We slowly have to pull back it taboo talk where
Hmm.
we assume that just by talking about death, we are kind of reducing our, or bring it closer to ourselves. We really aren't. We need to accept it. Not
Yeah.
accept. They say what death and taxes are the two guarantees in life. You're guaranteed to die, and they're guaranteed to pay taxes.
To pay
Those are the only
taxes,
two
right?
guarantees.
Uh-huh.
Those are the only two guarantees in
Let's
life.
do this, Maputa,
I'm
because
listening.
everybody, he gave me 3 themes on which to choose from this, what conversation we can have. So what we can do is we can make another arrangement.
Sounds
Yeah, so that we can talk about the other two, okay?
sound
The
no no. So
diaspora, yeah, the diaspora wealth leak, and the other one is the Lusaka lifeline. That's what we are
sounds
calling them. The reason we are making them so poetic is to provoke your interest and your mind thinking. Text plan to that number, and
thank,
Mr.
thank you.
Puta will be
Thank-
very willing to engage in a conversation with you and send
Uh,
you the link to that conversation. Wow, my brother, thank you for taking the time.
Pastor Nathan, I have been honored. I have been blessed. I have. I'm so thankful. I am so thankful for this platform. You don't know how long I've been watching this, and
Oh, wow.
it is so surreal sometimes to find yourself on the other side, and it's I thought I would be very, very nervous, but you are such a gracious host. You made me feel so calm. It almost feels like it's just a one-on-one conversation. So I
Uh-huh.
really appreciate that, and I hope we've been able to touch, even if it's like I said, even if it's one person, I think it
Mhm.
makes a difference because
Yes, it does. It's
it does.
it's a now Pastor Wangila, but it's a
Mhm.
biblical principle. One.
Absolutely true.
Jesus said one sheep. Mhm.
That's just one sheep.
Yeah. Before we go, Laura has added some information. Office of the
Yes.
Public Guardian acts as the official guardian to whom applicants are made, nominating guardians in the event of death, sickness, old age, disposal of property, and pretty much like your digital.
Okay.
Mhm.
So is that a question? Or are we just confirming what we're kind of
She
confirming
was
what
just
we've
trying
already
to add
discussed?
on
Okay.
some information
Okay.
to
I
what, yeah.
appreciate that, Valor.
This
Thank
is a good conversation, especially with people like Valora. We need to
yes.
have her on. Valora, we need to talk about this. You seem to have some information which
Yes, please. So yeah, that's a
Zambians can
yeah,
benefit
it's a new
from.
angle.
That's a new angle. Great stuff. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please look here. Some of you tell me, oh, like Vatsanga said, he's been watching this for a long time. For those of you that have been here for the first time, follow us at ZBTR TV. We are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, and we are on YouTube. Subscribe, like they say, subscribe. Okay. So join us again. We shall be here next week and for another great topic.
Absolutely.
This one, I'm starting a fight next week, Baput.
Well, Banan, what have you done now? Huh? Are you?
The topic is the opposition imploding or it's UPND Mingalato? That's the topic.
Ah, I was going to say something, but I think I'll leave it
No, leave it
offline.
for next week. Leave it for next week. Let's not spoil it. Let's not spoil it.
Oh, Pastor
Thank
Nathan,
you so
thank you
much, my
so
brother.
much. Everybody, you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Those of you starting, enjoy your Saturday. Those
Yes.
pakati,
Uh-huh.
and those finishing off, we'll
And
see you on the flip
the
side.
final word is what? Stay warm.
Stay warm, stay safe, stay blessed.
Amen. Thank you,
Amen,
Bachisanga.
amen.
We'll catch up
One.
later. All right, everybody. That was our show for today. Very important subject. All right. So just text once again. Where's that number? just text plan to that number, and he's going to respond to you and also help you with other things that you might be dealing with concerning that subject. Thank you, everybody. And we shall catch up with you next weekend. Like I've said, we are going political. Is the opposition imploding, or it's UPND Mingalato? Have a great week.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.